The Watcher of Westfield, Suburbia's darkest secret. The letters began. June 2014, 657 Boulevard, Westfield, New Jersey. A beautiful 6-bedroom home on a quiet suburban street. White picket fences, manicured lawns, a place where families walk dogs at dusk, and porch lights glow like lanterns of safety. Derek and Maria Broaddus had just bought their dream home. They were days away from moving in with their 3 young children. And then, the letter came. No return address. Handwritten. Thick block letters on white paper. It began with a chilling line. Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. And then it changed tone. 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades now, and as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. The writer claimed to be the Watcher, and they knew far too much about the Broaddus family already. Who am I? I am the Watcher. The letter was unnerving. The writer knew the layout of the house. They referenced specific details. The contractors, the renovations, even the Broaddus children. I see already that you have flooded 657 Boulevard with contractors so that you can destroy the house as it was supposed to be. You have children. I've seen them. So far, I think there are 3 that I have counted. Derek and Maria were frozen. Who would write something like this? Who was watching them so closely? The police told them not to worry. Probably a prank, they said. But then came another letter. This time, the tone turned darker. Do you need to fill the house with the young blood I requested? Once I know their names, I will call to them and draw them to me. The Watcher mentioned specific nicknames the children used for one another, referred to them playing in the yard. The young blood, the young blood, they must be mine. The Broadduses hadn't even officially moved in yet, and already they were being hunted, not by someone with a weapon, but by someone with eyes, eyes that never blinked. A house they never entered. The Broaddus family never moved into 657 Boulevard. Not fully. They stayed at Maria's parents' house while construction continued. But the letters kept coming, each more specific, each more threatening. One of them asked, "Have they found what is in the walls yet?" Another warned, "I am pleased to know your names now and the name of the young blood you have brought me. You don't want to make 657 Boulevard unhappy." Derek installed security cameras, hired a private investigator, even reached out to a former FBI profiler. The letters were analyzed. The style, phrasing, and penmanship. It suggested someone older, possibly someone living nearby. But nothing concrete. There were no fingerprints, no usable DNA. The envelopes were postmarked from a nearby town. But beyond that, no trail. The Watcher knew everything, but revealed nothing. Neighbors, strangers, and suspects. The Broadduses began to suspect everyone, especially the neighbors. 657 Boulevard sat nestled among longtime residents. people who had lived on that block for decades. Many were elderly, quiet, friendly, but maybe too friendly. The Langfords, who lived right next door, became immediate suspects. Michael Langford was in his 60s. He had a history of strange behavior, and he could see the Broaddus yard directly from his window. Police questioned him. He denied everything. There was no evidence, no confession, and no charges. Other theories started to circulate. Was it a local real estate rival trying to scare them off? A jilted bidder who lost the house in a bidding war? Or a sick prankster with a flair for dramatics? But if it was a joke, why didn't it stop? Why did it become more personal? And why did it seem like the watcher truly believed they were protecting the house from its own owners? Theories and twisted possibilities. With no clear suspect, theories spiraled. Some believed the watcher wasn't a person at all, but a group, a secret society protecting homes with historical significance. Others whispered about a local cult, or worse, that 657 Boulevard was cursed. There were stories from decades ago about a family who left the house suddenly, about strange activity, about children who refused to sleep upstairs. But another theory began to grow louder, that Derek and Maria Broaddus made it all up. The couple had bought the home for $1.3 million, couldn't afford the renovations. Maybe they created the letters to scare off buyers, or to back out of the deal. The Broadduses denied it all. Derek even admitted he had written a letter to neighbors, one single anonymous note, but only out of frustration, he claimed. Still, the court of public opinion remained divided. Were they victims or master manipulators? No way out. After months of fear and frustration, the Broaddus family tried to sell the house. But word had already spread. That's the Watcher house. Buyers vanished. Offers dried up. They petitioned the town to demolish the house and split the lot in two. Westfield said no. It didn't fit the character of the neighborhood. The Broadduses were stuck, paying a mortgage on a home they were too afraid to live in. Eventually, they found renters. The rent was below market. The house sat mostly empty. Then, in 2017, another letter arrived, this time addressed directly to the renters. And it was angrier, more unhinged. You wonder who the Watcher is. Turn around, idiots. Maybe a car accident. Maybe fire. Maybe something worse. The Watcher hadn't forgotten, and they still claimed control, not just over the house, but over fear itself. From headlines to Hollywood, the story of the Watcher caught national attention. The New York Times published an exposé. News vans lined the street. Reporters camped out at 657 Boulevard. The sleepy suburb of Westfield was now front-page news. Podcasts dissected every line of every letter. Online forums speculated on secret codes, hidden meanings. Some even believed the Watcher was inside law enforcement. Then came Netflix. In 2022, a dramatized series called The Watcher was released, loosely based on the Broaddus case. Millions watched, but the real Watcher never revealed themselves. And despite all the theories,
All the lights, the cameras, the money. There was still only one certainty. 657 Boulevard had become more than a home. It was now an idea, a symbol of paranoia, a monument to the fear of being watched and never knowing by who.
The family that never slept again. Derek and Maria Broaddus rarely speak publicly, but when they do, the pain is still visible. They describe sleepless nights, locking every window twice, jumping at every noise, wondering, always wondering, who was watching. Maria says she still hears footsteps in her mind. Derek checks rear-view mirrors for tails. Their children ask questions they can't answer. Why don't we live in our house? Did we do something wrong? They lost more than money. They lost peace, privacy, a sense of safety they may never get back. In an interview, Derek said, "Sometimes I think the watcher was just a person, a cruel, disturbed person. But sometimes I think the house was alive and it hated us." The letters never left. Even after all this time, the letters still exist, stored in plastic sleeves, hidden in drawers, studied, feared, remembered. One of them ends like this. All of the windows and doors in 657 Boulevard allow me to watch you and track you as you move through the house. I am in charge of 657 Boulevard. Let the young blood play again like I once did. Stop changing it and let it alone. No signature, just a title. The Watcher. The identity remains unknown. No one ever saw the Watcher. No security camera ever caught them. No fingerprint, no DNA, no face, just words. And those words were enough to destroy a life. The faceless fear. In the end, 657 Boulevard is just a house, wood and brick, glass and paint. But something about it lingers. The Watcher turned a dream home into a haunted story. No ghosts, no blood on the floor, just letters and fear. That's what makes this story so chilling. It's not about murder or monsters in the dark. It's about paranoia, about being watched, about someone knowing everything about you while you know nothing about them. 657 Boulevard still stands. Someone else lives there now. Maybe they sleep peacefully, maybe not. But somewhere, in Westfield or far beyond, the Watcher might still be watching. This is the American Mysteries Archives, and this was the story of the Watcher of Westfield.
Subscribe for more chilling mysteries. Thanks for being here. See you in the next time.